Hello guys, this is Sir Idalot here and welcome back to our Women's Meet content. And today guys, we're going to be talking about Moblade and more about the advanced stuff on Moblade. So if you are checking out this video for the first time and don't know anything about Moblade or still don't understand how Moblade works, please check out my two videos. I will be posting them somewhere around here. So please click on them, watch them first, and then come back to this video. But when you're over that videos, let's go with the advanced guide. So first guys, what is my combinations on the current Moblade build that I currently have at level 55? I have Thundercry Blade combined with Soul Shade Umbrella or Panacea Fan, depending on the content. So let's say you're running a 5-man dungeon or a 10-man dungeon and the healing is not enough. You're going to switch to Panacea Fan in order to help your teammates get more heals. So that's more of like a paladin role. You're tanking, you're also healing. Nice. What else? Soul Shade Umbrella, I use it usually on solo content, and it's perfect for solo content because whenever you use this thing, you can just literally cast the healing and forget about it. It's going to keep floating, it's going to keep healing you while you're switching to a different weapon. Wherever you go, wherever location. Unlike the Panacea Fan, where you have to stay in one location in order to get the AoE heals. So it's only good for group content, but if you want to do solo content with the Moblade or any weapon at all, actually, Soul Shade Umbrella is really good for solo content. Other than that, whenever I do tank or PvP, solo or group PvP or PvE, I use the Stormbreaker Spear. Easily, you're a tank, basically, right? You cannot pair this with anything else because what's nice about Stormbreaker Spear, it gives you a perception skill. So whenever you do your charge attack and then you are hitting on the last hit, you cast or you gain the drum beat. Drum beat enables you to have another shield activated. So for example, you can just cast this, right? This one, just straight up. This one gives you that ability again. So you gain 2 bars of fighting and spirit and breakthrough. Breakthrough is increases the damage of charge skills by 30%. That's really nice. So when you are only casting this here, you're not gaining anything. So drum beat enables you to gain that more damage on your shield. So you're literally going to have to cast charge attack and make sure the last skill hits, right? On the charge attack on the spear, and then you swap over to Thundercry Blade, and then cast the shield, and then charge attack. You're gonna see more damage in that one. I tell you, I've been hitting like 8K, 10K. Not 10K, 8K, 9K is the highest I've seen, but I haven't reached 10K yet. But I will. My goal is to hit as hard as possible on the Mow Blade, right? So that's the combination of the Mow Blade. Let's talk about the inner ways, right? There's a couple of options in inner ways actually. There's actually the like three options here, but two is locked. You cannot change the two, or actually, you cannot change the three. You can only change one here. What is the one that you will be changing? This one. So for me, I'm using Battle Anthem because I want to deal more damage on my charge skill. I don't want to just tank. I want to deal damage as well. So if I can tank and deal damage and then heal at the same time, that's like every role, right? But for me, if I'm going full tank, I can't heal. So Battle Anthem is nice because when I'm using my charge skill, which you are going to be using frequently as a Moblade main or a tank main, you need to at least deal some damage. So this helps you with that. But what are the other options I'll be talking about? There's other options for this, and there's actually a lot of options. You can swap in Rock Solid for more damage reduction, but this lowers your damage, but this gives you more tankiness. This is good because this is a Stormbreaker related skill or inner way, right? Another thing is more protection, right? Taking damage while HP is below 30% triggers Cornered Beast. This generates a HP, another shield, right? So when you go low HP, this gives you another shield on top of your other shield, right? So this is really good. But the problem with this one is it can be only triggered every 300 seconds. 300 seconds, that's a couple of minutes, right? So we're not taking this because this is a bit inconsistent. So for me, this is nice. Maybe for people that are afraid to die right away, this is provides an extra protection. But you are very tanky in this build, and you will see that on my videos that I posted, fighting the Wolf Maiden, fighting Morong Yuan, other bosses as well. That is just super good, right? So forget about this skill, about it. Just forget about it. Now you can alternatively put something else here, like for example, more healing, right? So using the Panacea fan, then slot in Royal Remedy. This gives you more healing on your Cloudburst healing by 10%. It's nice because it's going to give you that extra edge on healing your teammates, right? If you're playing the fan. Another option is you can slot in because you are always dealing crit. So where is that? Not this one. This one is not yet good. Invigorated warrior. You have to upgrade this to max. This one you have to upgrade it to max or at least tier 4 in order to really get the value of invigorated warrior. But for me right now, this is more of a late game kind of item. So we're not going to talk about this one yet. Where was that skill? There was a skill here related for healing. Oh, this one here. So when you're dealing critical healing, you apply nurturing for 3 seconds. Nurturing gives you gives you a buff where you have healing receive is increased by 2%. Stacks up to 3 times, so 6%. So it's nice if you're playing Soul Shade Umbrellas solo or Panacea Fan solo. But mainly you're going to be using this for Panacea Fan. The reason why crit healing, because you do a lot of crit. As a Moblade main, you gain like a passive crit whenever your HP is maximum of 30%, 30k HP. So you have a 5% increase on the crit. And at the same time, if you have Art of Resistance and you have upgraded this to at least tier 3, I believe, tier 2, you gain a critical rate. So you're naturally high in crit on this one. So you're going to crit heal if you're healing, right? So this one is just talking about options on the inner way, but mainly what I use, guys, is I use exquisite scenery. Really strong skill. Gives you a chance to, when you defend, not parry, when you defend an attack with an Archive Blade, it gives you a counter attack, which gives you the charge heavy attack third stage without charging. Literally, you can use it, and then you're blocking a target, right? They're hitting you, and then you can, and it gives you that prompt. You just activate that thing. You're basically the same as you're charging a heavy attack, basically. So this is really good because that's what we do. We do a lot of charge attack. That's why I slotted in Battle Anthem because that is what we do, right? And another thing is Moral Chant. Moral Chant is, without a doubt, the best inner way in the game. The best, because this is very, very versatile for healers, for DPS, for tanks. It's really good. So I highly, highly recommend Moral Chant on any build, any build at all. I think the only way that this is not useless or this is becoming useless is when you're building a specific build. You're building like, I don't want to really deal a lot of penetration, a lot of damage. I just want to stack as much bleed, or you want to debuff the enemy with poison. That is a specific build. But this is generally every build has this, right? And how can we forget Art of Resistance? Just a no-brainer pick. We always use the shield. Shield is a big factor as a Moblade main. You have to slot this in. You have to. There is no buts. No, I don't want to slot. No, you have to. You're a shield user. You need to. This increases the duration as well. So don't forget about that. Right. Now, on ooh. Right, sorry. Right. My ring light fell. All right, we're back with this with more of the topic here. So mystic skills. Let's talk about mystic skills. So I didn't talk about mystic skills as much before, but there's a few things here that I want to talk about, and mainly I want to talk about the bamboo. This hits like a truck when you're using it on PVE and PvP. So this is really good if you want to have that extra edge in damage when you're using your mystic skills. But there's a couple of skills here that I want to talk about, which is mostly in the single target control. But let's just go one by one. So Yaksha Rush is actually good for PVE, not only for PvP, because when you have the initial stage when the boss is exhausted, you can charge an attack, hit the boss with a charge attack, the full charge attack, and then you can follow up with a Yaksha Rush and then execute. That's like trying to min max every second of your damage while the boss is exhausted. So Yaksha Rush is, because it's a fast animation. This is really nice. I haven't gotten the Talent Strike. I don't know if this is better, but I think it's longer. So Yaksha Rush is just my recommendation when you're trying to do bosses and you want to maximize the time or the damage dealt during exhaustion, right? And then another thing is free morph. Free morph is a really good skill. You can spam this thing and it will really deal a lot of damage. But for me, I have a new favorite, man. This Wolf like Frenzy is just really good. You basically stomp the ground with it and then it just deals a lot of damage. It does a lot of crit as well. So I mean, it's good for cavalry units, but the damage, we're just all about the damage here. And I would just want to highlight another skill called Golden Body. Golden Body is, if you're playing the tank role, this is supposed to be a permanent kind of skill that you're going to have, right? So having a shield based off the item, the gears that we have, you deal a lot of damage. You deal a lot of crit damage and healing, but mainly we're after the crit. So if your shield does expire and you want to deal more damage, Golden Body enables you to like that small amount of shield, but it enables you to deal more crit damage now. But this is mainly used for tanking, and I use this a lot. I've tanked ridiculous damages with bosses with Golden Body alongside the already OP HP shield that we have. So you have to use this skill. It's also really good. Now, you can use other skills here. Like, for example, this is like a meme. I don't know. I feel like this is a meme. I'm using the Flaming Meteor a lot because I just like to feel like I'm the boss whenever I face mobs. I even use this sometimes on the boss fights. But the thing with the Flaming Meteor is that, okay, so the first stage, it stomps the ground, and then you jump in the air, you shoot the spear, and then wherever that spear is positioned at, you're going to jump back at it. So that's the mechanic on this one. You cannot control the flaming meteor. The flaming meteor controls you. It's a funny skill, but it hits hard. I've done 9k damage with this thing if I proc crit. But usually I do around 4k, 3k damage on this thing whenever I'm using this. I think that this is a good skill, but it's just too much risk. You're basically turned into this horse riding um kind of unit, and then anybody in the vicinity can just free hit you, especially range bows free hit you. But I think you're a bit tanky in this one. You have super armor in this one, so I mean it's fine. I use this, it's fun. Go try it out in boss fight, even mob clearing. It's really really funny. But other than that, guys, I don't want to talk about the other skills anymore because I mean, the garden palm is nice, but I don't I'm not, you know it is hard hitting, but I don't want to use this. I don't have to. I don't want to have to use the cloud step in order just to do that. I want to do the damage right away. So I haven't unlocked all of the mystic skills yet to have to say that this is also good. I think this is really good. This gives you enter an intoxicated state, but you have a DOT. I don't really think that's good. The drunken poet might be good as well, but yeah, I'm just using the fast ones. The fast ones. I mean, Yaksha Rush is mainly what I'm going to be using whenever I do boss fights because this enables us to deal more damage before the boss goes into before we execute the boss. Let's talk about the gear. The gear is, I think, a lot of people are. What are your tunings, right? So I'm gonna show you my tunings. So currently on the Mole Blade, you can actually see the. Can we enhance this? So on the tuning right here, there's a lot of options here for what you're going to be getting. But mainly, let's check out the other, this one here. Okay. Is there any info on what we can get? But mainly, guys, let's just talk about the things that you should be getting or should be aiming, right? Because you're mainly a tank, you should have a lot of HP. So HP is your goal. Max attack is your goal. Min stone split attack is also your goal. The reason why you need min stone split attack, not max stone split attack. It's the attribute, by the way, that we have on the great sword. It's best because in here, martial arts talents. See this one here, the stone split attribute up. So increases stone split attack by 2652. Increase stone split penetration based on min stone split attack. So we have more penetration. I don't know how important the penetration is in this game, but from what we've learned and from other games and other RPGs that have penetration, it's basically going to ignore some of their resistances on our attribute attack. So this is good because this is another increase in damage. Now, for the other thing is the body. I still don't know how to increase body properly. I know you have to increase this via the breakthrough on our level, but no clue where to get it. At the moment, we're just stuck with what we have currently here. But HP here, by the way, this is capped at 30. I have 40,000. I'm already beyond 10. But again, you need more HP because of this one, right? So the higher HP is, the better the shield is for your the better your shield is on the predator shield. So I just stack as much HP, and I'm a tank anyways. I'm born to take damage, so you just have a lot of HP, right? So let's go with the gears. The sets are Rain Whisper set because of HP, duh, and at the same time, whenever you have a shield, your critical damage and your healing is increased by 15. It's good. more crit damage. That's why you want to invest on crit rate on the Moblade. Another set we're using is the Moonflare set. Moonflare set is, of course, HP set, but at the same time, whenever you're defending, there is a 30% chance to create a shield that absorbs up to 10% of max HP. It's another shield on top of your shield. That's why you want to have a lot of HP, because this improves your survivability by a lot. But let's talk about all of the tunings now. So what you're going to be aiming here, guys, is HP. Either get max physical attack and min stone split attack. Physical resistance is nice. It's always nice to get, but you're going to be needing a lot of crit rate as well. So crit rate is in there. So max physical attack, min stone split attack, HP, and then crit rate. That's what you want to get. Physical resistance could be just another thing you want to get. Another thing is this one here is really good roll, by the way. Really good roll. More physical attacks, so you're gonna hit harder. More physical attacks, you're gonna hit harder. Critical rate is always nice to have. I would argue that getting crit rate is better on all your gears. Like getting at least one crit rate. If you do not get one crit rate on any of the weapons, they're trash. Right? They're trash automatically. But it's hard to get crit rate. So the one is trash. Nothing is trash. But in a good world, in a perfect world, you want to get critical rate as much as possible. Here, agility gives you. Agility is also a nice stat because agility is a crit stat, but also a min attack stat. So if you want to get more crit rate, getting agility is always nice. Another crit here, max physical attack, max HP, max stone split attack, and then you have max HP. So it's nice because I have umbrella, but you don't really need umbrella damage boost. You want to get Moblade damage boost. That's what you want to get. But yeah, basically that's what you want to get on just HP. Just trying to improve what the Moblade already does good, which is HP, max physical attack, and then the min stone split attack for more penetration, and then anything that just gives you more HP and crit. That's what you want to get, right? For the tuning. Now, what are we talking about? Well, the arsenal, you can, by the way, switch if you didn't know. I just knew this last night. You can switch this off to like, if you want to increase more attribute damage on stone split, go ahead. If you just want to build a more general build, go ahead. It doesn't really matter. To me, it just matters to what your preference is and what our preferences is. But for me, I prefer stone split because this is where I'm doing damage anyways on the Moblade. So first things first, on the Thundercry blade, we have this thing called focus. So Sunrush Gale, you can either use it for enhancing your or speeding up the heavy attack on your spear or greatsword Moblade, but you can also use it to transition over to the Stormbreaker spear. Cast the martial art scale. This will reduce the damage dealt by the enemies to you if they're hit. But what you really want to do is actually do a charge attack skill on the Moblade, on the spear. So this gives you the drum beat passive. So when you have the drum beat passive, you gain a 50% damage on the charge skills. But on top of that, it will also activate the other perception skill, which is on the Predator Shield. So on the Predator Shield, so here it is. And see this one. So when you have the buff, which is the drum beat, you have a special skill. If the shield is on not on a cooldown, you will be able to gain, instead of 15, you gain 30% charge damage on the charge skills. So take note of that. And this is why our rotation could look like this. So we do the rotation. Rotation could look like this. Like, cast this skill here, swap over to the spear. You cast this one to have them, deal less damage to you. Once you have the drum beat, swap back to the great sword, cast the shield, and then do a charge attack. This will deal more damage. But alternatively, you can just skip spamming the charge attack if you want. That is the full rotation on the Moblade with the spear. The other weapons like Panacea Fan or the Umbrella, you just basically drop the healing skill and just swap back to the Moblade and just focus damage there. One thing to note as well, when you're fighting very difficult bosses where you don't have time to do a charge attack and you still want to deal damage, there's a trick here that I will teach you guys, which is the cancel animation. So here's how you do it. So you cast this. So you attack with the Moblade, right? and then you're trying to block. You're trying to block, and then the boss has like an idle animation of like what 2 seconds. That's not enough time to charge. What you want to do is light attack and heavy attack, and then parry. So is what you do. So light attack, heavy attack, parry. Light attack, heavy attack, parry. It's a cancel animation. It's a fast way of dealing chip damage to the boss without sacrificing your HP because you're trying to do a charge attack. So this is also useful for like mobs with low HP and you want to kill them. So, just something to take note. Because if you try to do the light skill attack, it's very slow. It's got long animations, right? You don't want to do that. So that's basically it. Anyways, back to the other video. If you're still confused on how to build, I have a guide on YouTube. I have a guide on TikTok. You can just check it out. But right now, guys, that's basically it. Hopefully, it could help you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next video. GG's, guys. Bye bye.